put out
really
the.
think in our annex,
It's kinda
we could
nice.
like go ahead and
Still
do, we
hard
can't
to
write the whole thing up, but we
Yeah,
do need
there's
to write it down
a,
to
there's
300,
a
that's all we
ability
work.
that's, part
It's
Okay.
supposed to be a smaller ID, but I don't think we have
I
caller ID. I
had
think we have to
that
pay extra for that.
recently, and they
Because you might
prescribed
want
me
to
I
add
checked
it all
on
down here, since there's 18
I just been working on our
It's
smart
not
card.
over the counter, but you can make it
I
with
hate it when I have to get
Xerox.
in. I don't want to work
But
with
it
now.
had
The problem
lidocaine,
too is that
but
we
it
have
was
some accounts that are
Maalox,
suspended that may be
lidocaine, and
foreclosed on.
Benadryl
But
liquid.
they, and he's already written that off.
Well, I was taking Benadryl,
Lawrence,
and
but
that
Lawrence made
helped a
him
little bit,
back on the
and I
system.
wasn't sure whether I just my computer was just
Right, but if once we do that, we need to start.
But then you've got.
Are you talking to me?
Right.
No, 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 no.
I'll get your,
Hey.
Who's behind? All right, that's it.
Yeah, but
Don't worry,
that's-
you
that- That shouldn't come out of bad debt, shouldn't it?
The time is 9:30 and this meeting is now called to order. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. It is 9:30 a.m. We have a quorum absent Robert Mummy, who is out, as everyone knows, for his cancer treatment. Can I have a motion to excuse him from from monthly meetings until his cancer treatment reaches a point where he can attend?
So move.
Seconded.
Second, all in favor? Robert is excused from further meetings until his doctor releases him and he can again. Now, that does not mean that he is not participating. He is receiving all of the information that we receive and he is commenting on that information. So, he is not out of it. Okay, we stand for a moment of silence, personal reflection. Is there anyone that wants to lead us in prayer? Okay, we'll have a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Okay, have to bear with me here. I've got different vision than I did a month ago. Okay, we need the minutes from the board meeting of September 16, 2020. Has everyone read those minutes? Robert isn't here today. Okay, can we have a motion to approve those minutes?
Quick question. My mic doesn't work.
Or
I don't know how we're gonna do this, or but I do want our action item just to kind of be correct and for history purposes. I know what we all kind of discussed, but the correct motion should be $1 increase per regular assessment and $1 increase per improved residential assessment. The wording is wrong. I mean, if we're, on the action that what we did to the membership, this is probably the motion that, and this is how it should be stated. Because we would just put on here per membership. Well, when you look at our declarations, we're not matching what the definition of the membership.
The Secretary's report is a summary of the discussion, and the discussion was all memberships.
No, the motion for assessment increase was per membership. We don't really, that's not how our declaration describes membership. You have your regular assessment, which is up to CPI, and then you have your improved residential assessment, and that's what we actually,
And you also have your FRM and your charters without deeds.
that's what the regular assessment is. That includes.
And we can change the wording if that, but the discussion concerned all 4 memberships and that the increase was for all 4 memberships. And if you read the month before when you were absent, if you read the discussion, that was a very long, lengthy discussion about that.
Right, but minutes aren't about discussion, it's about what actually is the motion. And I was just wanting to use the correct terminology, because technically in minutes, you don't read the discussion. It's just, I just wanted to, just, because I know that members have come up to me and just said that technically I should have just done the 01 accounts, because those are memberships. There's a residential assessment. So that's what we did is correct, and I know that's what we discussed, but I just wanted it to just state as per our declaration. So it's really called a regular assessment and an improved residential assessment. That's what our actions actually did. We raised $1 on those.
Okay, the motion will read as the motion was given that day. We can't change how the motion was
Right, and that's why I was
stated.
like thinking we needed to do a correction.
Okay, let's look at that correction, and do we have a motion to approve minutes with a review to make sure that the motion was correctly reported in minutes? Have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
For a second.
All in favor?
Just to make us do it the right way.
Minutes
that's all.
are approved. We will review what was actually the verbiage used in the motion. Thank you. But just to highlight it, the assessment of $1 refers to all memberships, all 4 of them. Okay, onward. Okay, Secretary's report. Robert's not here, but I have a couple of correspondence to read. Okay, one of them is from let's see here, R.W. Hendricks. And it was sent to me, gave it to Robert. Sandra, we are Robert and Kellen Hendricks, members in good standing. I would like to see the board meetings moved back to Saturdays at 9 a.m. The other issue is in reference to monthly fees. I am in favor of a $1 or $2 increase in monthly fees. We need to at least stay up with the normal inflation increases. We cannot continue to operate the fort in a deficit. They are from Unit 7. Okay, and the next one comes from Audrey Peterson.
We can put in this much, maybe.
Dear staff and board members, thank y'all for such a warm welcome when I visited Fort Clark Springs. To be honest, I didn't quite know what to expect when I got there. I'm used to the marshes and beaches here in South Carolina, but for 33 years I have a special affinity for Texas. This place, FCS, blew my mind in a good way. The history of it is unbelievable, and I'm a bit of a history buff. I do need to brush up on Texas history. FCS is beautiful. I saw the deer with only 1 rack. Ladies and the gentleman that cooked as well, meat dish, was the best Mexican food I've ever eaten. Absolutely nothing here can compare to it. I can't wait to have it again when y'all have your feasts. I might need to cook y'all a Southern Carolina feast. I'd be happy to. I hope to see you all before the end of the school year, my last one in South Carolina. I'm looking forward to being a part of the FCS family. Please keep me informed if anyone knows of para-professional positions become available at the school. I'm not ready to stop working with my special ed kids. Take care and stay healthy until we meet again. Audrey Peterson. Okay, we have a That's the only part of the secretary's report, so there's nothing actually to approve by motion, other than the minutes, which we've already done. Treasurer's report, please.
Okay, treasury report. Motel revenue for September, $23,058. Member services on lot sales, transfer fees, and resale certificate fees, $50,733.36. That sounds encouraging. Net income before the estimated bad debts and depreciation for September is $131,849.40. That includes the depreciation and bad debt figures. Bank balances. Texas Community Bank checking, $32,649.88. That's as of the 20th. Is that today?
Yeah.
Today the 20th?
21st.
Oh, okay, this is yesterday's, okay. Credit card, $150,445.29. The money market is $8,593.74. Bank and trust, Los Morris, $1,262.23. Restricted fund has $386,059.94. General, $321,396.02. Historical, I presume that's preservation, I don't know what they're classifying historical, $412.30, and taxes, $39,451.86. Okay. September profit and loss for Fort Clark Springs was $274,593.45. That's the income. Expenses, $177,950.38 for a net income of $96,643.07. Restricted fund for September, income $7,296, expenses $1,997.91 for an income of $5,298.09. Los Morris for September, income $456.42, expenses $854.75 for a net loss of $398.33. From October through September at Fort Clark, the gross profit was $2,276,566.34. Expenses for the same period was $2,470,050.72 for a net income loss of $193,484.38. Restricted fund from October to September was a net income, gross income of $114,396.94. $114,330.60. Total expenses, $25,215. Excuse me, $215.48, for a net income of $89,115.12. Los Morris, October through September. Gross income, $21,866.57. Expenses were $29,445.57. It was a $15.10 other income, for a net loss of $7,563.90. That is my report.
Does anyone have any questions? I do. And maybe Alan can answer this. Under profit and loss for September, under other income, there's $14,242.84. Do you know what other income is?
That would be finding an overpayment. That'd be finding an overpayment on our on our insurance.
Yeah, I thought that's probably what it was, but I wasn't sure.
When it was done, somewhere along the line, they kept charging us, and we kept paying even though we had prepaid insurance, and there were two payments. One of them they sent back to us, which is recorded there. The other one was put into prepaid insurance for this coming year. Both of them were at $14,000. So now we have over $70,000 in prepaid insurance. So his net savings was around $28,000.
I thought that might be what it was, but yes.
Do we need to make a pause? Are we changing from law and orders page to Fort Clark?
I'm working on it.
Okay, let's pause this, make sure that this is being shown on the right social media. So we're going to take just a brief pause. Time is 9:46.
You know what, I object to that.
To what?
Social media,
Oh,
it's nothing but trouble.
amen.
Then why are we worried about it, especially lot owners?
Well, because of
Nothing but a
COVID,
bunch of mouths on their trouble.
Just a second, wait until we're back on, we're
You heard
taking,
me, I don't need to say it again.
I'll explain it when we come back on.
Actually, it's kind of both.
I think I might have discussed this already.
What is it? We have an opinion on what reconciliation.
We did it before because we had turned off comments, and whenever we had, I don't know, a workshop or something, we were trying to get comments. But I don't think we were able to do comments on ours. I don't know. I don't know if we should be attorney concerned on this. Here.
We're good. We're going. Apologies.
9:48, we are resuming. I will explain briefly that we stream this to our official Fort Facebook page, and it is also posted to YouTube after the meeting. The reason being, because of COVID-19, a lot of people are staying home. As you can see, there are six people here this morning. This gets it to the rest of the membership. But we are only streaming on the official Facebook page. And the page that it was streaming that we caught is not an official Facebook page for Fort Clark Springs Association. So we are going to continue with the meeting. Okay, the other question that I had is that for the September profit and loss, it appears that Randy did not include the depreciation breakdown for September 2020. It should be 430,402, and it's just not there, so it's on the rest of them. Yeah, it's the total for the time is on the summary sheet, it's just not on the P&L, so if anybody's looking for it, it's not there.
And this is in a fiscal, so this is all preliminary. Our audit will be what's gonna be.
Right. And Rihanna's correct. All of these P&Ls throughout the entire year are considered preliminary. They're preliminary until our auditor does the audit, and then that becomes our final financial statement. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Move to approve the treasurer's report.
Second? Rihanna seconds. All in favor? And it is approved. Okay, next we have Executive Officer, General Manager report. Alan, you're up.
It's been a very busy month. I hope somebody's seen some changes around here. Just overall, and we're going over the P&Ls, but I think there's some areas that may be easier to explain as far as comparing them to last year, especially in the motel. You got the number as $23,171 income in the motel. Well, actually, compared to last year, that was $16,205. So you have a 43% increase in revenue in the motel and a 75% increase in the income. So the motel lady and Samantha have been doing a real good job of working with there's no doubt it's the pipeliners that are helping us out right now. And so that's going to be going for a while. The other area would be the RV park, which is also affected by the pipeliners. Their revenue or net income went from $12,436 from last year to $19,079, which is a 187% increase. So that's another area that is affected by the pipeliners, and that's helped us out. And will probably continue for at least the next couple of months, and then maybe some in the spring. The other area of revenue that we have is the golf course, which never really been a big money maker, but this last month, last year the revenue was $4,715. This year it's $10,366. So it's basically doubled as far as our income, our revenue coming into the golf course. So that's helping us go in the right direction, and that doesn't have much to do with pipeliners. That's just new people coming in here. COVID-19 is over as far as the effect from Del Rio and their golfers, but we are still getting some of them over here because they like our golf course. So Cash and Domingo have done real good as far as stopping all the issues we had with water and watering everything, so the golf course is really picking up. I want to thank the volunteers from the Community Council. If anybody's gone to Creekside or inside the golf course pro shop in Creekside, you'll see it's much cleaner. The grounds have been really, really cleaned up quite a bit. And that was both the Community Council. Also, Clyde Westbrook, I don't know if anybody knows, he's a relatively new member here. If anybody sees the railing going to the bridge, all got scraped and painted in the last 2 days, and he did that by himself on his own. He had also pulled out a lot of trees, so I appreciate that effort. The AC Adult Center, I know a lot of people have asked about that. That has been repaired, so you can have your meetings in there. Not in the fitness area. One thing at a time. But this is where we have a lot of meetings in the center section, and that's been repaired. We had an employee picnic on September 28th, which I had all of our employees attend, and I think it was well received. At least I got to know everybody. At least I see faces now, I know. And that was probably just a start, trying to get our attitude up and running again. Have a new landscaping crew that started yesterday. Now the matter is getting them the equipment to work with enough that we can get things caught up. We've been doing the landscaping for the last month or this month, and that's basically with the crew we had on staff, which means we're way understaffed for getting it done. This new landscaping crew will be going through and taking each section one at a time, trying to get them back to where they need to be and putting on a preventive schedule. The street lights, in case anybody's noticed, we probably have had over 30 street lights fixed in the last month. Roughly 20 of them were fixed by AEP and 10 were fixed by Rio Grande. They're not all done. There's still 4 or 5 that we know have to be worked on. But when you consider we had 30 lights out in the fort, I mean, they've done a good job. And you will see the tree trimming trucks going through. That's with the Rio Grande. They're going through and cleaning off the trees that affect their lines and their lights. In case anybody's noticed, Philip and his crew have really been stressing on that pool and making some headway every week. So they're going through, it's not finished yet. Usually we go through twice a week, once every 2 weeks. We're doing it every week until we get it caught up as far as getting that clean the way it's supposed to be. I looked at it last night, it still looks blue instead of green. By now, it used to, it was looking green. It's probably within the next month, we'll have it back where it needs to be as far as the cleanliness of the pool. But, they've taken a lot of effort getting it done, so they've done Christine is really proud of that pool and trying to keep it clean. Curtis and Nathan in the RV park have done a good job. And also, we're full right now. The only thing we don't have is saving places for our winter Texans. And we don't want to displace them by taking in pipeliners, because that's a short-term fix. We need to make sure we keep our winter Texans here. The fire station, and this is something that will come up. We have a leak in it, so we're going to fix that. AEP will restore power. It doesn't have a break, and we're going to try to use that as a volunteer effort for our winter Texans and our local volunteers to do projects like fixing benches and painting signs, things like that. I've had that request, and try to get that as far as sort of a volunteer headquarters to do some things. The fence. People are asking about the fence. There is no short-term solution for the fence. If anybody remembers 20, 30, 40 years ago, that area was underwater for probably at least 2 weeks. And because of that, every bit of the fence, that's why it leans. And it will probably cost us more to fix it than it would to put up a new one. So we're looking, I would like to look into people's ideas of what to replace the fence with, whether we want to go up with that or we want to go with more of a cosmetic. So I'm open to any suggestions. I've been driving around everywhere from here to Austin and Round Rock, taking pictures of possible solutions, and maybe we can come up with an idea there. The golf course office will be changing around when we can open up Creekside so that we can fix more of an office and storage for Cash and his crew up there, so that a lot of the operations will be run out of the back part. That's pretty much what I have.
Can you comment on the hunt results and the trapping results?
Hunt results. From August 18th through basically yesterday, total hunt and trapping is $59,000. That's what we've made. 15,000 of that was trapping. The rest is for the hunt. And that's where we are as of right now. We're on pace to be right around $100,000 for the season. For taking the traps out, he says he will have them removed next week. Talked to him yesterday. And so the traps will be removed. That's it.
What about Bader's traps?
Which ones?
Vader, he's got a trap, he had a trap back in the back, southeast corner.
Is that still there? I thought that was gone. That's the small one, right?
Yeah, it was one of the black ones. I have to ask Philip. It was there earlier in the year when JJ set all his up, that
Yeah.
one was still back there.
I thought it was removed, but I'm not sure about that. That was the one where the damage happened, wasn't it? Yeah, that one was supposed to have been removed. So, that's it. Anything?
Anybody else have any questions? We got it?
Yep.
Okay, onward. Okay, we'll get to the committee reports. Oh, yeah, did you want to give us a little bit of, one thing I forgot, the Nueces River Authority's grant application. Can you go through that for us? For the pool? Alan?
Yes.
Thank you. It's sitting right in front of me,
I
sorry
don't
about
know
that.
what it is, but which one of these sheets is it?
I can read what you wrote.
Was I
on this.
taking?
Oh,
Yeah.
this one?
No, I got one this morning.
Oh,
They will be here on November 16th to do the assessment. I think it may take more than one day. And that just came through this morning. That's why I had it this place.
okay.
Oasis River Authority has now received grant money, and yesterday we set up JQ Engineering for do their work on November the 16th. That came from Chris Hill this morning. So it's set up and ready to go.
Outstanding. Moving forward. Okay. Okay, one more thing on the hunt, and I'm sorry I'm just going through this because it just handed to me. The issue of where the hunts are taking place and rifle versus bow hunts. Alan, what's been discussed on that?
Do not have the current schedule.
I believe it's right now going through this month and next month, and then starting December through February, it's gonna be every other month. The front has the exact dates. Every other weekend, yeah, sorry.
We run out of months in a hurry. Okay.
Bow hunting will continue.
Okay.
That's for-
We'll be posting schedules in the dispatch, so if you're hunt interested, bow and rifle, stay tuned, and we'll make sure that everybody's kept advised of the areas where the hunts are occurring, that you need to stay out of, and which kinds of specific hunts are ongoing. Okay, the airport, my fault of the something like 35 emails I had last month. I missed this one, and this is the airport committee's report. And it is still current, and Stan Martin asked me to read it. It said, we want to welcome Eston Mullins to the airport committee. We had 2 visiting pilots last month. This was, by the way, written in September. Both guests of members who flew in for day trips. As a reminder, please ensure you have coordinated with the airport if you have a guest coming to visit you. You can reach us via email at 74txairport@gmail.com or through security. There are criteria that need to be met and accomplished prior to arrival in order to reduce liability on the fort and promote safe operations on the airfield, as well as a pilot briefing of operations. Please do not jump over the fence to get into the airport. There's a sign on the airport gate with the proper way to gain access to the airport. We have 8 pilots operating off the airfield and 8 aircraft. Over the next few months, we will have 2 additional pilots join us, as well as 3 additional aircraft operating off the field. Also, in the near future, we will be erecting a memorial section in the historic hangar in honor of Larry McNerlin and Mike Schillick. Both of these pilots were instrumental in the foundation that was made here on the airport, and we would like for their memory and contributions to be long-lasting in the hangar. Once that has been completed, it will be a feature of our next open house. At this time, we do not have a pending date for our next open house. Thank you, Stan Martin. They will be returning. Most of these airport people are Winter Texans, and they should be coming back here shortly. Okay. Architectural.
Sorry, I need the table. I'd like to report that we finally had our first junk abandoned car removed from the fort. There are 40 cars, trucks, RVs, motorcycles that need to be removed. I'm going to quote from Unit 3, Number 7. In other units, they read about the same. Vehicle parking on the above-mentioned lots shall be restricted to passenger vehicles, pickup trucks, and/or motorcycles carrying valid state license and maintained at all times in running condition. This is fair warning. You got a vehicle that's not licensed, maintained in running condition, we're coming for it. Also, the rules and regulations state that your vehicle must be registered with the port and carry insurance. Things are getting better despite the lack of support from past boards. ARC has made positive improvements. More are coming with the leadership of Mr. Peterson and the help of the building inspector, Chris Abbott. Our CC&R rules and Texas law are in place. They need to be enforced. The board and ARC has to be strong and enforce the CC&Rs with high standards of development and maintenance. This means construction has to be done in good workmanship manner, maintenance on our structures kept up, our yards need to be mowed, the weeds and trees need to be trimmed, trash needs to be kept cleaned up and put to the curb. Construction should be compatible with the units in. I've heard in whose opinion are they not acceptable? The answer is ARC. Because if you don't agree if you don't agree, you can appeal it to the board. If you need help with repairs, cleanup, ARC has a list. All you have to do is ask or contact community council. They will help. If you need help with a permit or don't know what work you can do, ask ARC for help. There's a lot of nice properties on the fort. I'm going to quote from the CC&R's Unit 25. This is in all units. Whereas it is in the best interest of Fort Clark Springs Association Incorporated, and each of its members, that the said property and improvements thereon continue to be maintained and improved as to, at all times, be complementary to and compatible with its environment. The Architecture Committee, hereby referred to as committee, is hereby created to administer the restrictions and high standards of development and maintenance. I think that we get lost on this development and maintenance thing a lot. Declarant reserves the committee the power to control the use of said properties and the improvements thereon and maintenance thereof, and the control of construction, all residents, cabanas, porches, breezeways, buildings, swimming pools, fences, walls, wall copings, and other improvements hereby collectively called improvements, placed on said property, and to make such exceptions to the conditions as the committee may deem advisable. I want to repeat that again. As the committee deems advisable. That means that it doesn't have to be specifically those items. Sorry, I lost my place. And to adopt and establish and administer such rules and regulations governing the use and maintenance of the property and improvements thereon as the committee may deem necessary and appropriate. May deem necessary and appropriate. This doesn't mean that all buildings need to be the same, all front doors need to be pink, all roofs need to be red. We just need to be presentable, maintained in good taste and high standards. This is what we need to improve our property values and attract new members that might want to live here. At the last board meeting, I heard twice that this is Texas. Totally agree this is Texas. But the board and ARC have to enforce our documents, not just the ones they like. A lot of this stuff is Texas law. It's not just our CC&Rs and our declaration and our rules and regulations. Some of this stuff is state. Again, I'm quoting from Unit 25 for all units. Remedies for violations. The association and the committee may take appropriate action to compel compliance with terms hereof or prevent the violator of any of the conditions without limiting the generality of the foregoing. If there is a place on said property and any improvement which is the violation of these conditions, or any improvements which the violations of these conditions is permitted to remain, or said property is not kept free from refuge, junk, excessive growth, or objects. And I like to have another word put in there, even though it's not there, but I think objects kind of takes clutter. Or used in a way in which is annoying and unsightly or disturbs the peace and comfort of others, then after giving the owner or occupier written notice, the association or the committee or the representative of either may enter said property and abate or remove the same at the expense of the owner. Any such entry, abatement, or removal shall not be deemed a trespass. Got a question? This means that if you build something and it does not comply, we can make you fix it or remove it. I've heard many times that if we can't do anything, and that's wrong. There's properties on the fort here that have had work done without permits and not done right. And just because it's there doesn't mean we can't make a member remove it. Number 19, Unit 25. Waiver, excuse me.
Joe, maybe this can be put in a dispatch, but pretty much we just need to know like how many permits were approved and what not approved, and I mean, it was just.
We've been slow.
On there, but like I said, your concerns, maybe we can put them in a dispatch, and or in the Bugle, even.
Just bear with me. It is, you know, I've said this. I've read this to my committee time after time after time, and it goes like in one ear and out the other. And I've said this a number of times to the board, and it's important. And it's not going to hurt the members to hear it either. And we're starting to make progress here. Waiver and servability. The failure to promptly enforce any condition shall not bar their enforcement to be considered a waiver. The invalidation of any of these conditions shall not affect the other conditions, but they shall remain in full force and effect. I'm not going to read the property code. It says almost exactly the same thing. There's an appeal process that keeps all this stuff in check. This is Texas, but the state law, rules, documents, and association need to be enforced, not just the ones the association, the board, or ARC wants to enforce. On October 6th, I received resignation from Sharon Greger, and I'll read. It says that some think that I've resigned from the committee. I have not. I did, however, quit for the time being, mostly out of frustration. I would like to keep the door open to come back. As most committees, there seems to be too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Sharon. This is dated September 21st. To the Board of Directors, I quit.
Okay,
Sandy, I'll be here for the executive session for that variance.
all right, thank you.
As Mr. Lackness set. He has resigned from the architectural committee, and do we take a motion to accept his resignation?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
In favor? All right, and thank him for his service. He's worked very, very hard to bring ARC forward in this, and he's worked very, very hard to get our members to comply with rules and regulations, and we do understand his frustration. Okay, next is the golf committee. Golf committee going here. Okay, I let them know there's a tournament this weekend. It was posted in Dispatch that the Catholic Church is putting on as a fundraiser for the church. And then on October 31st, Halloween, is the annual Halloween and Church Alliance tournament that is put on by the golf committee and the Church Alliance. It's been a lot of fun, and it's a fundraiser for our local citizens, both on the fort and in the county and the city. So it's for a good cause. And that's also been posted with reminders will be sent on Dispatch. We had a tournament last weekend for the ladies tournament. We had pretty good turnout for the first day of the ladies tournament with 10 teams of 2. And we had people, ladies from Del Rio and locally, and from, actually, as I understand, there was a team from Valde as well. So that's all I know about the golf. Preservation.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm just a little sore, we've been working hard. Yes, you have. Okay. Preservation and the Community Council have recently decided to combine forces to help spearhead the cleanup of the fort. There's lots of things to be done. We're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. We combine forces, we get more done. Notice of a December 5th workday was distributed Saturday afternoon to the entire Unit 15, house by house. Talk to anybody we can get to talk to us. So that we can, they've been told to call the office or Natanya if they have things they can need done that they can't physically do themselves. We're more than happy to see if we can step in and out, clean up the green areas, just like kind of what we tried to do with 3. The more we can get people involved, the better. We're trying to look to the future. It's looking brighter now than it has been in the past, where Fort Clark Springs will be coming out of not being well kept. That's what we're trying to do. I see improvement already. We're trying to get the commissary, Seminole Hall done in the back, and this empty saddle done this next first Saturday of November, so that when the Winter Texans come back, they see we are making headway. We're not sitting around waiting for them, but by George, they're going to get involved too, hopefully. And Mr. Westmoreland, I ran into him yesterday going back to check on something on the kitchen, and he was like painting, and I went, wow, somebody's doing something on their own, awesome. So it looks great.
Makes a difference.
Oh, wow. The commissary's coming on. It's not quite done. They stopped for a week because Mr. Jim had to go on vacation. Being spruced up by MK Building. 75 gallons of stain have been applied to that building, and he's got 50 more to go. He said, man, is it sucking it up. The building really needed doing and was very dry. We really liked the color and the job being done. Do you like the color now? Okay, good. Looking to paint the backside of the NCO club soon to maintain the 25% discount. That has been in the gray for 2 years. If it's not done soon, by the end of the year, it will be the 3rd year, we will lose the 25% discount. We have a quote, we have another quote being done as we speak, and I was told by the Kinney County people that if we bought at least a paintbrush by the 1st of the year, we'll get the discount. So we're working on that. I would like to note that preservation members have been over there.
cleaning up Creekside, didn't mention that. Monday nights, for the foreseeable future, there's a bunch of us going over there to have supper and clean until we're tired. And we had a really good, just this past Monday was the first Monday, and we made great strides.
Should I get the time right this time?
Nah, whatever, you get there when you want to, you're the boss. So anyway, it's coming very nicely, we will keep it up, that, you're promising me that that will be open by the first of the year, right? That restaurant, whatever, in some form or
By the
fashion?
first of the year.
Yes.
By the first year means New Year's Eve time.
Okay, works for me. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is we have a happy group of volunteers. We're trying to bring more in. We're going places with this. We're hoping the Winter Texans come back and we go nuts. So there we go. I'd like to say something quickly of the bylaws committee. We met yesterday. We are coming along fabulously, in my opinion. We now have a document that has red highlights underneath of where we would like to remove or add, so it's simpler for you guys to look at it and move your way through it without flipping back and forth. And of course, these are proposed changes to you guys. You make the decision. So we hope to have you all soon. Thank you.
I guess that covers bylaws, which I don't think we put on here.
No, that's why I threw it in there.
Thank you, that's our oversight. Thank you for bringing it up. Las Morris Restoration, wait a minute, recycling. Sorry.
Recycling is
I'm
first.
still adjusting to new ones.
Okay. Talking about all this cleanup, I keep mentioning, an organization in Austin called Keep Texas Beautiful is offering free cleaning supplies.
Wonderful.
And I did give that phone number to Natanya, head of community council, but they give away plastic bags, I don't know what else. When I had the free cleanup way back in '08, they gave us all kinds of, mosquito repellent and sticks to pick up stuff and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm telling you, it's for free. So I have she sent me an email again today, so I can give you that number. So they're very responsive. Recycling, the Ford paid $564 for our truck fees, February and August shipment, as well as $108 that wasn't paid last year. So the total came to $672, so we're cleared right now. We're still awaiting waste management truck drivers who apparently are somewhere else. We've waited for like 2-3 weeks now for pickup for the cardboard bales, so we're still waiting. October fee, they'll be paying us $75 a ton, so that should be some good income if they ever get here. Let's see, and then that's all for recycling, other than I always need more volunteers. And we've been kind of slow. I don't know why. But we're kind of saying, okay, here comes one group of people, and then we wait. And then we have some more. So we need to encourage recycling. Let's see, the next topic is the Las Moras Restoration Project. And I guess this should precede what Alan already told us. But again, this is from the chair, Chris Hale, who says, we have one bit of news to report. The Kaiku Foundation of New Orleans approved a grant request made by the Nueces River Authority, and the grant is $10,000. It'll cover the cost for completing the detailed engineering assessment of the spring and pool. And as Alan told you, Chris just sent us the email saying November 16th is when that's gonna happen. So, that's the beginning assessment, so, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll close this on. Election committee.
Good morning. The election committee has met twice and we will meet again this evening. We've reviewed the bylaws relating to the election and have worked on updating the schedule our committee needs to follow to conduct a straightforward election for 2021. We will be advertising through the Dispatch, the Fort Clark Block Association, and the Fort Clark Members Association for candidate applications, and everything should be in full swing the 1st of January.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all right, community council.
Natanya has a job, so I am here. You've already received, I think, a printout, haven't you, from her, or not?
I grabbed it from the back.
Okay. Things are going along with community council quite well. They conducted a second cleanup day on Monday, October 12th from 8 to noon at Creekside. They had approximately 12 volunteers and Mr. Peterson. It has been absolutely wonderful having the GM join us at our volunteer events and for Philip to come out and join as well. Philip busted his, thank you, that Saturday. I mean, the poor guy was sweating to death. He just went to town. He did a great job. Ghostly Tours has been canceled. COVID. Because we have no fundraising and the concessions and donations are not covering the monthly movie expense, we will need sponsors to continue the movies through the winter. If interested in sponsoring the movies, please contact Community Council or Allison Watkinson. The required sponsorship is approximately $110 per movie. It would be nice if, yeah, could help with that so we could keep people entertained and somewhat happy. Thanks the way things are going. Our next cleanup projects are the first weekend in November and December. November, we are doing the commissary, which I think I may have done before November. So then they may be looking at the back of Chapter Hall and the empty saddle, so that when people come in, hunters, the winter Texans, the place looks really good. We added to our Community Council Facebook page a post and link to request help for your unit or yourself as we continue, as I said before. You know, contact somebody, we'll get you help if your property needs something you can't do. And there's lots of people like that in 15 and 3 and 14. People that are old and they just can't do it. So, you know, let us know and we'll all show up. And I also like to tell people, if you can't do physical labor, then buy a case of water. Get it cold and come out and give it to us while we're working. You're a saint. They understand that, and they've done that. The GM has been granted a permanent spot on the community council. Oh, boy. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that. Unfortunately, Mr. Smith, oh yeah, you couldn't make the last meeting, and that was fine. We understood. They have figured out that something blew up over there, so they weren't coming. Okay, Community Council has discussed the candidate forum and expressed interest to the Board of Directors about running the candidate forum, and we wait a response. I don't know if we've gotten one or not. I haven't gotten because I'm not the president.
I think we agreed with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I pass that on? Okay, if Community Council, and they are, going to run the candidate forum, the format and moderator will be discussed in the November and December meeting. So if you have any input you'd like to have in that, please come to the meeting. We'd love to hear it. Membership comments, concerns, and questions. Membership so far appears to be pleased with Mr. Peterson and the direction towards which he is working. 2, where do things stand with the airport committee? Whom are the members? Whom does the membership contact with inquiries? That was a question. It must be Stan Martin. Membership is seeking faster response times to household items and yard waste being picked up. Thank you for what is done, but faster times. Will there be a schedule published, or announcements made for future dates so membership can deliver these items to the curb in a timely and efficient manner for maintenance. Is there any kind of a system where if you put out a mattress
Well, there's
and you don't pay for it, how long does it sit there?